What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy here on Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my wildly handsome co-hosts, John Garofalo and Joey Wright. And joining us today, we have our great friend, even more wildly handsome than the two men I just introduced, Pat Fitzmaurice here with us. Pat, thank you so much for taking the time to come and hang with us today.
Oh, Simon, you're such a kind liar. How could I be more handsome than these two guys? I mean, it's just not possible.
I mean, it's setting the bar a little low. Wildly handsome is all within the frame of reference of Front Yard Fantasy, and that means just compared to Jay and I. So Joey and John Luke, you made it, baby. Guys,
let's go.
Not only is Pat wildly handsome, but he is the managing editor over at Fantasy Pros and Betting Pros. You can find him on Twitter at Fitz_FF for all of that fantasy and betting goodness. And we brought him here today to play some Fantasy Football Jeopardy. It's redemption time, baby. We got Craig in the chat here letting us know that this is Pat's 5th FYF appearance today. 2-2 in games. So you're going for that winning record, but 0-1 in Jeopardy so far. Taken down by Joey. And I was so close there with 51 points to your 1,400 and Joey's 2,200. But it's a full-on run back of that game today. John Luke's going to be hosting for us, and it's going to be me versus Pat versus Joey. Pat, how you feeling about your chances today?
You know, Joey's going to be tough, as are you, Simon. I remember it was just, you were just a little bit off last time. But, you know, as long as we don't have any movie-related questions, I think I might have a chance.
Well, we got some people in the chat ready for today's show. I see Grim Fan in there. We'll hit your questions in a moment. Strong Style Ninja stopping by, stealing our friend Victor's line with hello, bro chachos and bro chachos. What's up, Ninja?
What up, Ninja?
We got Kevin Tompkins stopping by. What's up, gang? What up? Welcome
Kevin.
in.
What up, Kevin?
Albert saying hello to everyone. What's up, Albert? And Pigskin Panic stopping by as well. We got Ladarius in the chat saying good afternoon, all, and hugs to Travis Kelce owners. Let's go ahead and jump off with that news that we got today. Grimfan came in and asked us a question. If Travis Kelce doesn't play due to his hyperextended knee, who would you rather start at tight end, Noah Gray or Blake Bell? Let's just take a step back first before we look at Noah Gray and Blake Bell. Pat, we were talking a little bit about it before the show. How are you feeling about this Travis Kelce injury? Are you concerned long-term for the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to be. I saw someone mention on Twitter that he's probably going to get an MRI just to make sure there's no ACL or MCL damage, which would obviously be catastrophic. You know, especially since, and we were talking about this a little before the show, Simon, of course, after years of eschewing Travis Kelce as a first-round option, I, dove in head first this year and drafted Kelce all over the place. So I might have jinxed it. Sorry, guys. Sorry, fellow Kelce investors.
Yeah, that's on you, Fitz. That is all you. Strong Style Ninja in here, almost answering the question. So I got Dulcich for my Kelce backup. If I'm looking for a tight end to fit in, it is not Eric Gray or Bell that I'm trying to fit in to fill in for Travis Kelce. I'm going to the waiver wire and looking for somebody else, a Ferguson, a Hurst, a Dulcich, and a Concord. Musgrave. That's a great one. Joey, do you have any other names that you'd be looking to fill in for Travis Kelce with?
In 10 teams and 12 team leagues, Sam Laporta was not drafted in every league. I've been surprised at, a couple of orphans I've taken over that Sam Laporta is just sitting out there. And I do think he's going to get work, especially those first 6 weeks without Jameson Williams there. So see if Laporta is out there. I know that's kind of a higher owned name or higher percentage managed name, but look for
John Luke. Carlos wants to convince the Kelce owner that they're going to have to amputate Kelce's leg, so he should trade him for Greg Dulcich. If you were Carlos, how would you go about making the case to your league mate that Travis Kelce's leg is going to have to be amputated?
That's a great strategy, Carlos. I think step one is you have to learn Photoshop. If you know any medical terms or know people who know medical terms, that is going to be a plus. You're going to be able to utilize that in a situation where you need to convince your league mate. So start throwing the there you go. That's it. That's the only word you need. There you go, Carlos. Simon did have to work for you.
Just text them amygdala and a photoshopped picture of Travis Kelce with one leg, and they should make that trade no problem. Grimfan wants to see some sandwiches in here. Well, JL is in charge of that, and we will see if there's any sandwiches, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. We got Dame stopping in the chat with wonderful afternoon FYFers. What's up, Dame? Glad to have you in here. And one more question before we get into our game. With Jonathan Taylor not playing the first 4 weeks, there's value to be had potentially somewhere in that Indianapolis running room. Pat, week 1 waivers, they're running tonight. Are you prioritizing any of these 3 quick running backs on your roster?
I have put in claims for both Jackson and Hall, and I think Hall is maybe the better long-term option. Jackson is sort of the bird in the hand because I think they've already announced he's going to start week 1, but it's kind of interesting. Like when Shane Steichen was the OC in Philadelphia 2 years ago, Jalen Hurts' first year as starting quarterback, they went really run heavy that year, like 56% of the time from week 6 on, they ran the ball. So there might be a lot of value to these backs, actually. We know Richardson is going to do some of the running too, but, I don't think they want to throw very much this year. So there might be some sneaky value.
Joey, do you have one of those names that pops out to you as the one you're trying to pick up this week?
I think if you took Jonathan Taylor, I might lean towards Deion Jackson. But if you're just going to put somebody on the bench, it's Evan Hall. It's absolutely Evan Hall. He's definitely going to, I think, be the running back to manage there. I just don't think it's going to be in the first week.
No, and he could have some value maybe even after Jonathan Taylor returns, just with the role that he'll play in that offense compared to a Deion Jackson or a Zach Moss. Carlos wants to know, is Bijan going to run for 100 or 200 yards versus the Panthers? Jay says 300. JL,
Whoa.
how many do you think? 1, 2, or you with Jay? Is it 3?
It's 2.
200 yards. Pat, are you optimistic about Bijan Robinson week 1?
Very. Let's split the difference and call 150.
150.
I'm excited, though. I can't wait to see this guy. I mean, he is the truth. Like anyone who watched the Texas Longhorns last year knows how good he is. So can't help but be excited.
Everybody in the chat, I see your questions. If you want us to answer your fantasy questions, throw them in the chat. We will gladly answer them throughout the show. Like I mentioned, we brought Pat on here to play some Fantasy Football Jeopardy, going to steal that dub from Joey that he stole last time. Before we get into that, though, a couple reminders. First and foremost, if you're not already following our guest, Pat, fix that now. Do it right now. You can find him on Twitter at Fitz_FF, one of our favorite people in this space and an incredible analyst as well. He humbly says sometimes an okay ranker there in his Twitter bio, but he's consistently among the best rankers in this industry. So you want to go check him out if you haven't done so already. After you do that, head on back over to our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy. Hit that subscribe button. And if you want to make sure you don't miss us live every day at 3 p.m. Eastern time, hit the little notification bell. And it'll give you an alert whenever we go live. And one last reminder, if you're looking for a little edge as we head into the season, check out fantasyalarm.com/draft to start your free 7-day all-pro trial. Coop's feet are not in there, but Coop's tight end takes are. It's the non-pro subscription that gets you Coop's feet, and that one isn't even for sale anymore. But go check out that free all-pro 7-day subscription to try it out. All right. I think we got a couple questions in here before we get into our game. Cameron B had a question for us. Wants to know, we're getting start-sit questions. It is week 1. So can you help me pick an RB2 and a flex for week 1? Options are Javonte Williams, Brian Robinson Jr., Zach Charbonnet, Jalen Warren, and then at wide receiver, Zay Flowers, Elijah Moore, Zay Jones, and Marvin Mims Jr. Pat, if you're looking at this, which running back are you plugging in?
Brian Robinson. Soft matchup against the Cardinals. You figure they might have the luxury of being run heavy. It's not often you see the Commanders as touchdown favorites, but they get that here. So, I think Robinson is a pretty easy call. Plus, we don't know how much Javonte Williams is going to be eased back into action after the injury. Wouldn't be surprised to see it be a Javonte Pirine mix. And then for the other one, man, I don't want Jalen Warren against the 49ers. I don't really want Charbonnet coming in cold. I think I'd probably roll with Zay Flowers against the Texans. Another concern, maybe, they don't have to throw all that much as 10-point home favorites, but still, they're going to be throwing early. So I think I'd take Zay as my flex guy. Maybe Mims. Close call between Zay and Mims.
If there's any love for Mims if Judy misses time, does that push you that direction?
Yeah, I mean, he is going to start, and the Raiders are a pretty good matchup for him. So I feel a little bit more confident in Flowers to play. Like, I just have a feeling that guy's going to be special. So I'm slightly lean toward Flowers, but Mims would be in consideration as well.
John Luke, who are you throwing in this lineup? RB2 and flex.
RB2 and flex. I'll go Charbonnet, and I'll go Zay Flowers as well. I like the upside.
I think I'm with Pat here. I'm going to roll Brian Robinson week 1. I like Charbonnet, but they haven't established back in Kenneth Walker, and I don't think week 1 is when Charbonnet takes over. I do think by week 6, 7, we see Charbonnet out touching Kenneth Walker in that Seahawks offense, but I'm going to hold for a second on starting him if I'm able to do so. Joey, are there any names that jump out at you from this list?
You guys touched on him. Zay Flowers is the one I'm most excited about from this list. Javonte, they've already said they're going to have him on a pitch count. If it was Javonte, even in a 50-50, we knew I would probably go Javonte over Brian Robinson, but I'm going to go with Brian Robinson as well.
Tommy in here. What up, boys? Rabbit season? Duck season? No, it's football season.
Let's go.
And it's Jeopardy time, baby. I'm going to explain the rules of this game. We'll keep answering your questions throughout the show in between rounds of Jeopardy, but we're going to get started. John Luke is running this game for us today. And if you've ever watched the popular TV show Jeopardy, this is going to look very familiar to you, but with a couple small changes. First and foremost, we're not buzzing in here. We are going in turn order. That way we're not just screaming names at you guys for the entire duration of this hour. Whenever it's your turn, you're going to select the category and amount that you would like to answer. Get it right, you'll add that money to your score. Get it wrong, we are not subtracting money for incorrect answers. Now, there's one other twist in this game. If you get your question right, you are going to get to pick the category for the person that goes after you. So, Pat, you're up first. You're going to have free reign of the board. If you get that question right, you'll get to send Joey to whatever category he wants. He still gets to pick the amount, but you get to determine the topic of said question. We'll go like this till we run out of time, run out of questions, or run out of socks, at which point we will end the show. Or no, at which point we will go into our final Jeopardy question, the one and only question in the game where contestants can lose money. Jail is going to give us a category. We will all write down our wager between 0 and the total amount we had earned thus far. Get it right, you're going to add that money to your score. Get it wrong, we are subtracting it. Whoever's got the most moolah at the end of that will be our Jeopardy champion, and we will fax you your Kohl's cash within 48 business centuries.
Business centuries. Is a century less or more than an era?
It depends on the era. Some eras are really short-lived, but some eras, like the Jurassic era, that one was a couple million years.
Oh yeah, I've seen those movies.
My
Definitely
era's
felt a
folklore.
couple million years.
The Era's tour is 4 hours, I think, whenever you go from front to end of one of those shows.
Nice. All right, Pat. You are starting off our game of Fantasy Football Jeopardy today, which means you get to pick your own category. Where would you like to go? Oh, I should go through the categories, shouldn't I? You don't even know what they are. Well, our categories today, we got week 1, self-explanatory. We got a history of ADP. I'm going to give you some positional rankings of ADPs, and you're going to tell me which player it is. And we got grab bag, could be anything. New season, who dis? It's going to be it might be similar to, if you've watched this show before, it might be similar to vague descriptions. It's another game we play, but I'm going to describe a player who's on a new team. You got to tell me which player it is. And then all about Pats. You guessed it. This one's all about Pats.
Well, I'm a Pat, so I guess I got to go with all about Pats for 100, JL.
Ooh, all about Pats 100, starting nice and easy. All right, here you go, Pat. One of my best friends is named Pat. In this case, what is Pat short for?
I'm going to guess it's Patrick.
Patrick is absolutely correct.
Nice.
Well done. Nice pull.
What if for the 100 you had just thrown like Patricio in there or something? Sorry, that was wrong. My best friend is named Patricio.
Just Pat. It's just Patricio. All right, well done, Pat. That means you are going to get to choose Joey's category here. Where would you like to send him?
I'm going to send Joey over to new season Who Dis for 300.
All right.
And just
you get to choose the value.
Yeah.
Or do I get to choose the value? Joey gets to choose the
Joey
You get to choose the category. Joey
Okay.
gets to choose the value. So you're choosing new season Who Dis, and Joey, what value
300.
would you like?
300.
300. Did you have something to say before the question, Joey?
I was going to say, I remember the last time Pat was on, we played and I won. And I said, who's the fantasy pro now? I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you.
This is for the title.
Dredging up old smack talk on me. Jeez,
Yeah.
Joey.
Craig forgot to put that part in there. And I just wanted to make sure we remembered that part.
Nice. I like it.
All
All
right.
right,
Being all humble, but And I just went out the
Nah,
window.
we got
Let's go
Joey
300.
CBS today. 300, new season, who dis? Joey, here is your first question. A wide receiver who went from the Los Angeles Rams to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That would be Mr. Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson is correct. Well done, Joey.
Thank you.
Well done. Which means you get to choose Simon's next category. Where are you sending him?
I'm going to send Simon to All About Pats.
All about bats.
500.
500. Which pick was Pittsburgh Steelers tight end Pat Fitzmaurice drafted in the 2021 NFL Draft? Within 25 picks, Simon.
Okay.
25
I have
picks.
the chat closed because I'm going to try to remember this draft. That was 2 seasons ago, which means they drafted Kenny Pickett in the first round at the end. No, that wasn't in the first round. No, it was in the first round. He was one of the only first round quarterbacks while we waited, and Malik Willis fell and fell and fell and fell and fell.
Just
I'm
kept
trying to
falling.
remember where in relation. Maybe it was their second round pick, and it would be. I'm going to say 65.
65, final answer.
Yeah.
Is he right, Pat?
I want to say it's like 56. So yeah, I think he's going to be within the
I think he's
range.
going to do like 25. Let's see. Simon, you said 55, right?
I said 65.
65. I should write that down. 65. That's going to get you
Okay.
one, Simon.
Take it.
Pat, you were 1 off. Simon, you were 10 off. Great guesses here. He was picked second round, pick 55. And he's turned out to be a pretty nice fantasy football asset. How are you guys feeling about Pat Fitzmaurice going into this season? What do you feel, Pat?
Pretty good if you miss out on the bigger name tight ends. I mean, he kind of upped all his efficiency numbers last year. It was only the touchdown count that didn't cooperate, but everything else was an upgrade over his rookie year.
I feel like he's just kind of boring. He's like the fill in the blank tight end. It's like I missed out on the top guys. I don't want to be playing the waiver wire all year. And it is just the create a tight end option that fills in your roster. I don't know what the upside is with Kenny Pickett at quarterback unless he's severely progressed over the offseason. Those touchdown numbers go way up, but he should be safe. I have a hard time thinking of more tight ends whose volume I think is safer than Pat Fitzmaurice. So I'll draft him, but I'm never like, yes, what a value. I'm like, okay, tight end taken care of.
Yeah, we got that secured. We had some guesses in the chat. We got 57 from Ladarius. That would have got points. We got 60 from Craig. Also would have got points. Well done.
I was pretty sure it was second round, but I wanted to cover third round a little bit just in case there. I couldn't remember where they got him.
Well done, Simon. That is going to give you 500 points, capping out this first round, putting you in the lead at 500, with Joey following behind in second place with 300, and then Pat in third place with 100. But it's still anyone's game. And Pat, we are back to you, but Simon gets to choose your category. Simon, where do you want to send Pat?
Just because of the context switching from off season to a single week, I am terrified of that week 1 category, and I'm going to send Pat there to try to clear it out.
All right.
Let's go in the middle with 300.
300. All right, Pat. According to Sleeper, which team has the easiest projected matchup for running backs in week 1? Is it Jacksonville going against the Colts? Is it Washington going against Arizona? Or is it New Orleans going against Tennessee? Which of these teams has the easiest projected matchup for running backs?
All right, it's definitely not C. I'm going to go B, Washington against Arizona.
B, Washington versus Arizona, and that is absolutely correct, Pat. Well done. It's going to get you 300 points, putting you into second place. And you seem to get that one pretty easily. You weren't even fazed by that.
He brought it up earlier with the Brian Robinson start, saying that you loved the matchup against the Cards.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, you're right. All right, Pat, well, you get to choose Joey's next category. Where do you want to send Joey?
Joey, why don't you try a history of ADP?
All right, Joey, what question value would you like?
Oh, I
300.
That one looks even scarier.
300. All right, before we get into that, we had some comments in the chat. Tommy said, if you mix Freiermuth with vodka, do you get a martini? I think so. think that's how it works. And then he said also I could rush for 100 yards against Arizona.
No.
Pat, you think you could rush for 100 yards against Arizona?
No, I don't think I could. I would need a really good offensive line. I would need, just a superior unit in front of me to maybe churn out 31 yards.
Yeah, maybe overconfident there, Tommy. I'm with Pat on this one. I don't think I could do it.
I think I could run 100 yards the other way as soon as they handed me the ball, and I was terrified of those grown men chasing me down on that. I don't care if it's the Arizona defense. I'm 5'10", and haven't lifted a weight in 7 years.
I've raced you. I think they will catch you before you reach 100 yards.
Hey, I Daniel Jones for that race.
You did. You did, without the speed. All right. You said history of ADP 300. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
All right, here it is. Which NFL player had the following ADP in PPR redraft weeks? Alexander Mattison, Cam Akers, or Khalil Herbert? That's their position and their position rank in ADP over the last 3 seasons. So where they were drafted as a running back 52, and then running back 53, and then running back 21.
I'm gonna go with Madison.
Final answer?
Yes.
Madison.
I'm with you.
Is absolutely correct, Joey.
Well, that's a fun category.
Yeah.
That's a fun category.
I like that category.
That's going to give you 300, Joey.
Okay.
And you get to choose Simon's next category. Before we do, how you guys feel about Alexander Mattison? I know we talked about him last week as like a default option. I mean, he's there. He's a starting running back in Minnesota. Is he someone that the fantasy players should be trusting going into the season, or is this more of a like pump and dump type of situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like some people think he is the 2023 version of 2021 Mike Davis, the guy who people were drafting in the running back dead zone, who was obviously just a trap. And like I don't dislike him that much. I don't think he's wildly talented, but I think he might be good enough to at least hold on to that job. And if you go in with modest expectations, not expecting him to be a, full-on workhorse, it's inevitable he's going to share with someone back there. But, I think like he's going at fair value approximately.
I just kept waiting, I feel like, for the other piece to get added into this running back room. It's the same as I was waiting with Rachaad White, though I was more optimistic about Rachaad White before that. It seems odd that they're rolling into the season with Alexander Mattison and then who's next? Ty Chandler and Myles Gaskin sitting on this depth chart. Like that alone has to give you confidence that Madison's going to see the vast majority of carries in this offense. I have not been excited, but as we're getting closer to the NFL season starting and we're looking at which running backs are going to get the volume, you should probably be drafting Madison because the volume is going to be there.
Yeah, Carlos in the chat said, guys, please. Madison is my RB2 next to Bijan.
I don't.
Yeah, well,
it's pretty good RB2.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad spot to have him in as your RB2 behind Bijan. I assume your wide receivers, your tight end are good, so I don't think that's bad at all.
You just rolled all your upside into one running back.
Kevin, you don't like running backs, so you don't get to talk in this.
Alexander Madison.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our next question. Let's see. Joey got that one correct.
Yeah, I have not picked where Simon gets to go yet.
Okay, where do you want to send Simone?
I'm going to send Simon to All About Pats.
All right, Simon.
Okay, it went all right last time. Do I get cocky or do I scale it back? 400.
You want to phone a Pat?
Yeah, I'll phone a Pat.
400?
Yeah.
All right, 400, All About Pats. Which New England Pats player intercepted a pass near the end zone to secure the win in Super Bowl XLIX? Darrelle Revis, Devin McCourty, Malcolm Butler, or Patrick Chung?
They should have given the ball to beast mode. This is Malcolm Butler.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Malcolm Butler is absolutely correct, Simon. Well done.
And then he parlayed that interception, I believe, into a huge contract and then fell off the face of the NFL planet.
Yeah.
Hey,
well done, Simon. That's going to give you 400.
You got your money. Who needs to then play well in the NFL afterwards?
Joe Flacco did the same thing.
Hey, he was slinging it out there for the Jets last year. I will not allow Joe Flacco disrespect after the like 60 plus passes he was throwing in that offense. It was beautiful for fantasy.
The in-between years was messy, though.
It was. Those
All right, you
Denver
get to
years.
choose Pat's next category. What do you want to send Pat?
Send Pat to a history of ADP.
All right, history of ADP. Pat, what question value would you like here?
Let's go 400.
400. You brave man. Here it is, 400. Which NFL player had the following ADP and PPR redraft leagues? Is wide receiver 18, wide receiver 23, and then wide receiver 26 most recently in the most recent season. Is that Brandon Ayuk, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, or Tyler Lockett?
Ooh.
Man, it's between Godwin and Lockett here. I'm gonna say Godwin. B.
Godwin. Final answer?
Yes, final answer.
Is he right, Joey?
Well, see, he said the answers between Godwin and Lockett, and I think he's correct because I think it's Mike Evans, but I could be wrong.
Ooh.
That was fun.
And I hope it is just for the content.
All right. Show me Mike Evans. Just kidding. It's Chris Godwin. Well done, Pat.
I'm shocked. I thought Chris Godwin's
Yeah.
ADP was much higher in 2021 following that like number 2 overall PPR season. But I guess
I did
not.
too. Wow.
Nice poll, Pat.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Pat's going to give you an additional 400. Throwing you back into second place here. Well done. And you get to choose Joey's next category. Where do you want to send Joey?
All right, let's break the seal on grab bag.
Grab bag. All right, Joey, before you give us your question value, we got a question in the chat from Carlos. It's a big question. Calvin Ridley or Cortland Sutton, week 1, has Trevor Lawrence. So thinking about the stack, but Pat, which of these two guys are you starting? Calvin Ridley or Cortland Sutton?
I have to go with Ridley. I just think he's the better player.
Better player. You're not worried about the rust coming off a year of suspension?
No, I mean, the reports were pretty glowing about how good he looked in training camp. So, like everyone was just raving about how phenomenal he was and how crisp his routes looked and everything. So I've got to go with him. Plus, the reports were not exactly glowing about Russell Wilson and the Broncos passing game. Still maybe not quite on point.
Man,
I'm with you, Pat. I have not been the biggest Ridley guy, but given these two players, and especially, I know in redraft the stack is less fun, but week 1, we're having fun, baby. I like throwing T-Law and Ridley in your lineup.
Joe, you agree with Pat and Simon?
Yeah, it's going to be a Samaje P. Ryan week there in Denver, so Ridley would be my choice.
Oh, I hope
You're
so.
saying start Samaje P. Ryan.
Love that.
Drop both those players, pick up
And start
Samaje P.
somehow.
Ryan, start him.
I'm actually benching him in a lot of leagues to kind of hedge my brain so that he doesn't produce well. I'm like, okay, well, at least I didn't lose anything on just all the people that I told to draft him.
Told to draft him.
All right, Joey, you terrible friend. What question value and grab bag would you like to take here?
200.
200.
I'm
in grab
terrified
bag.
of you making grab bag jail.
That's fair. All right, 200. Who wrote the novel 1984? Is it Aldous Huxley, George Orwell, or J.D. Salinger?
To be George Orwell.
George Orwell is correct. Well done, Joey.
Thank you.
See, not that it'd be a
I read that book. Well, I took the 200. I was hoping for an easy one.
And you got it.
I get to pick Simon's category.
That is how the game works. Yep.
All about Pat's.
All right.
Okay.
200 to 300.
Give me 3. I'm clearing this category out.
What number does Patrick Mahomes wear?
This is my weakness. I have no idea. Okay, all of these numbers are eligible quarterback numbers because those have to be between 0 and 19. That doesn't help me at all. I'm trying to picture him in my head and what's on his belly.
A belly button.
What's on his belly? I think
Abs.
it's 2 numbers. I'll go 10.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Is he right, Pat?
He is not correct on
Damn
this.
it!
Sorry,
He is
Simon.
not correct. Number 15.
This is my blind spot. Jersey numbers. I know Tom Brady's, and that's about it.
Look at that. Now you know Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, for
1-5.
now. For the next 30 seconds. Like a goldfish with player jerseys.
I was hoping you would get that one. And you did. Good job, Joey.
Thank
And
you.
the chat knew it. Chat knew it.
Yeah.
Up and down. All right, Pat, we're back to you, and you get to choose your own category and question value here.
Oh, okay. I kind of like a history of ADP. Let's clear that out with the 500.
500, a history of ADP. All right, Pat, here's your question. Which NFL player had the following ADP and PPR redraft leagues? QB 67, QB 30, and then QB 15.
Ooh, I don't
No options, so you'll have to guess.
Yeah.
Oh.
Man.
Jumped from 30 to 15 last year.
I think I know.
Oh gosh.
I think I know because
Close the chat if you haven't, Pat.
All right.
This is fun.
Yeah, this is really tough.
I think I got it.
I know I'm running out of time here. I'll come up with something quick.
While you're thinking, we have some fantasy questions coming in the chat, which we will hit in between rounds. Let's go ahead and throw your fantasy questions in. Your start set questions, we'll hit them.
Only thing I can think of is Jared Goff.
Jared Goff, final answer?
Yeah, I don't think it's right though.
All right, show me Jared Goff.
Gino
Smith. I had Jimmy G in my head.
Jimmy G.
Not a starter. Starter. And then now he's a real starter.
And the chat was with you. We had a couple golf guesses in the chat from Carlos and Ladarius, and then Jay coming in.
Didn't Jared Goff win a Super Bowl in 2021? Put some respect on his name. Come on, people.
He was there.
He was
present. He did it.
Did he win?
The Rams won before the Bucks.
Maybe.
So wait,
I can't remember.
No, Goff won in 2020. The chat will correct me if I'm wrong.
As they do. All right, Joey, we're back to you. You get to choose your own category and question value here. Where would you like to go, my friend?
I'm terrified. I'm going to take new season Who's This for 400.
New season Who Dis 400. You got it. A catchy wide receiver goes from one big cat team to another.
Catchy wide receiver goes from one big cat team.
You stinky man.
Oh, no, he went to the Bears.
Close the chat if you haven't already, Joey.
Is it DJ Chark?
Final answer?
Yeah.
Do.
DJ Shark is absolutely correct, Joey. Nice pull.
Thank you.
And
Thielen was the first name I thought of, so it was the reverse way because the Viking is not a cat. I'm not sure if you guys knew that or not.
Did not. Well done, Joey.
Are Vikings. It's like the whole square rectangle thing. All cats are Vikings, but not all Vikings are cats.
That's how it works. Yep. Scampers can confirm in the chat. All right, Joey. Well done. You got that one correct. So you get to choose Simon's next category. Where do you want to send him?
A history of ADP. He said he liked that category. I want him to have one question in there.
All right. Before we get on to the question value, Pat, you think DJ Shark can do anything? Wait, isn't he out?
He's iffy, I think, for week one.
Iffy. That's what it is.
Yeah. I'm kind of skeptical. It's just such a confusing and sort of mediocre wide receiver group in Carolina. Weirdly, I think Adam Thielen might be like sneaky valuable this year.
Just scooping up them points.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like Bryce Young is going to want a veteran receiver to throw to, and like Thielen might be the safety blanket this year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He finished top 15 last year in red zone targets. I mean, it seems like he's there every year, so I like it. But...
DJ Shark?
No, Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen, gotcha.
I haven't drafted a single Carolina receiver in any of my leagues this year, and I probably won't change that in any of my drafts tonight or tomorrow either. Could they do something? Probably, but I'm not betting on the rookie quarterback and the team of I don't know, like the island of misfit toys wide receiver crew that they've got going on there. It's
disrespectful.
It's brutal. Though, you know what? I think everyone who told me I shouldn't give up on Terrace Marshall yet whenever I had fully given up owes me an apology, because he is getting buried on that depth chart. He cannot even beat out the rookie that's supposed to suck based on what everybody else has said. Terrace Marshall it looks pretty brutal where he's sitting in compared to the other receivers they brought in.
All right, Joey, you chose history of ADP, and Simon, you get to choose 100 or 200.
I'll take 200.
200. All right, here it is. History of ADP. Which NFL player had the following ADP in PPR redraft leagues? Is this Pat Fryermuth or David Njoku? Tight end 46, tight end 9, and followed by tight end 9 most recently.
That's tough for a 200. I'm sitting here thinking they both kind of, I feel like David Njoku's value was never quite that low given the other receiving option. So I'm gonna go Pat Fryermuth here.
Pat Fryermuth, final answer?
Yeah.
That is correct, Simon. But I think your reasoning might have been incorrect. He was much lower than Pat Fryermuth at one point.
In 2021?
In 2021 and 2022.
Damn.
Yeah. Yep. And that was the giveaway between the two. But you sniffed that one out, which is going to give you an additional 200, and you get to choose Pat's next category. But before you do, we got some questions in the chat. We got Scooby in here, said, I need help. Someone offered me a trade in PPR league. I would give up Waddle and Travis Etienne and get Josh Jacobs and Chris Olave. Do I do it? What do you guys think?
I think this comes down to how you feel about Etienne. Like, how close is Etienne to Jacobs in your mind? If those two are only a couple spots apart, I think you keep the Waddle and Etienne side. But if you are of the mind that Jacobs is in that top tier of running backs again this year and Etienne is not, Olave and Waddle are close enough in my mind that you make that move. I'm probably keeping the Waddle and Etienne side because although I believe in Jacobs this year, I'm relatively high on Etienne as well. But man, if you're not in on Etienne, then getting that Jacobs side is beautiful.
Yeah, I think the difference on this one comes down to the team, the offenses. Waddle and Etienne, I'm much more bullish on their offenses taking a step up this year. While Josh Jacobs and Chris Olave, I am much more skeptical.
I am. So go ahead, Jerry.
I've been kind of the anti-ETN guy since about 2 months ago, and I would still take the Waddle and ETN side.
There you have it, Pat. You agreeing with us?
No, I actually slightly prefer Jacobs and Olave. I mean, I've got Olave and Waddle like side by side. And, I don't know if Waddle can be quite as freakishly efficient as he was last year. Like his target count wasn't all that enormous, but he was just crazy efficient with the targets he got. So I think he and Olave are close. I'd rather have Jacobs than ETN.
That's fair. I think that's fair. I'm glad you brought a dissenting opinion to give the full spectrum of opinions here before we get into our next round of questions. Simon, you got that last one correct, which means you get to choose Pat's next category. Where would you like to send our good friend Pat?
Let's send Pat to new season. Who dis?
New season. Who dis? Pat, what question value would you like?
Let's go with 200.
200. New season. Who dis? A running back who went from the Cincinnati Bengals to the Denver Broncos.
Joey's friend Samaje Perine.
Joey's best friend, Samaje Perine, and that is absolutely correct, Pat. It's going to give you 200, and you get to choose Joey's next category.
I'll send Joey over to week 1.
Oh, okay. I'll take 400.
400.
Yeah.
According to Sleeper, which of the following wide receivers is not projected to score 10 or more PPR fantasy points in week 1? Is it Adam Thielen, Brandon Cooks, Elijah Moore, or Jahan Dotson?
I'll go Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore. Final answer?
Yeah.
That's incorrect.
No, you were correct, but Sleeper's incorrect.
Sleeper's incorrect. Okay.
Yeah, because Adam Thielen's going to score more than 10 points.
What do you think, Pat? You think Sleeper's incorrect or is Joey incorrect?
I think Sleeper's incorrect. I've actually got Thielen ranked as a top 40 wide receiver this week.
Top 40. I like it. Take that, Sleeper. And we got some guesses in the chat. We got C from Ladarius, the Elijah Moore. A little tricky there. little tricky. And Dotson from Grimm. Pat, how do you feel about Jahan Dotson this year? We talked a little. I can't get this order. We talked a little bit about him yesterday and how excited everybody is for Jahan Dotson. Do you think that he is going to take advantage of that situation there in Washington?
Yeah, I'm really bullish. I like him a lot. Liked him a lot coming out of Penn State. Just really fast, sharp route runner, dangerous after the catch, and like really good for a smaller receiver on balls in the air. He's got that Tyreek Hill thing where he just wins jump balls as a smaller receiver, which is fun. So, yeah, maybe this Terry McLaurin turf toe injury could mean a fast start for Dotson.
Yeah, I feel like that is just pouring some fuel on the hype fire for Jahan Dotson going into the season. Pat, you got that one correct. Correct?
Yeah, I gave Joey I threw a fastball by Joey there.
That's what it was. And so we're on to Simon. Simon, you get to choose your own category and question value here.
Grab bag, $500.
Woo!
Grab bag, $500. Here it is. Which of the following airport codes did I make up?
Yes.
FAT, Fresno, California. MGM, Montgomery, Alabama. MVS, Meadow Vista, Oregon. Pi, St. Petersburg, Florida. Or Yuma, Arizona.
I'm trying to think of what they could stand for. Meadow Vista, that seems a little too obvious. St. Petersburg, Pi. But would you really, if you made up Pi and said, like, I'm going to put Pi in there, and it's so obviously the weirdest one, there's kind of 3 food-related ones: Pi, Fat, and Yum. And so I'm keying in on those, and I'm going to go with Yuma, Arizona. It's a little too on the tee for it to be the airport code for that city.
Yum. You're going with Yum as your final answer, correct?
Yes.
Is he right, Pat?
I'm guessing it's MVS.
MVS? What do you think, Joey?
I just want some pie so I can get fat because it sounds yummy.
Some blackberry pie.
No, I think pie.
Pie. We got a Pie, Yum, MVS. Well, the correct answer is MVS.
All right, through it.
Meadow Vista, Oregon. I don't even know if that's a real place.
Oh,
you just made that up.
Yep.
Didn't you just make up an airport code, but made up the airport as well?
Wow.
Yep. Maybe the city. Who knows? Pie from Grim Fan, Fat from Ladarius, and Pie from Andrea. All good guesses in the chat, but
No,
Pat,
they
you were
weren't.
the only one that got it.
They were all wrong.
They were all wrong. This is still good. Doesn't make them bad guesses.
It's because we're the only ones who would find humor in making fun of Marquez Valdez-Scantling. As
Meadow Vista, Oregon.
Maybe you can make it as an airport because I'm not sure he's cutting it as a fantasy wide receiver.
Ouch. All right. Joey, we're moving on to you. You get to choose your own question category and value.
I think we're going to Pat, aren't we?
Pat, we're going to you.
Right.
Yes, we are. That is correct.
Week 1 for 500, please, JL.
Week 1, 500. I love the big swings. All right, put these running backs in order of projected points scored in PPR for week 1, most to least. So we're looking at Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, Cam Akers, and Jamal Williams. Pat, you need to put these players in order from most to least for projected points in week 1.
Ooh.
I'll say Pollard, Jones, Akers, and Williams.
We'll say Pollard, Jones, Akers, Williams.
Yes.
Okay. The answer is Pollard, Jones, Akers, and Williams.
Nice.
Pat, my God. Dear Lord. The 500, late round 500. Let's go.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback, but a lead. I think it's a comeback. Man, Sleeper did not mess up on that one, I guess, Pat. You nailed it.
Nope.
Yeah, the last two were tricky, but the Seattle run defense was pretty bad last year, and the Titans are tough against the run. So I was guessing they went with the defensive matchups there.
Yeah, you were right. Before we get into our next question, we had a question from Grim Fans. To start to Evans, Sutton, Olave, or Pittman?
I'm going Evans, Olave.
Evans and Olave.
Yeah,
What do you
it's
think, Pat?
not particularly close.
Yeah, me too. Evans Sutton is kind of close, but the Vikings secondary is trash. So Evans is a pretty good play.
What about you, Mr. Buccaneers?
I'm going to agree with my colleagues here, but I also want to take this as time to shout out Craig for punking me really well, saying Mike Evans is going to the Giants. Join our Discord if you want to see me go off on various members of our community, because it happened quite a bit yesterday. I was not happy. I was like, I just bought the jersey. Bethany, Mike Evans is leaving. And then I was really mad at Jay because he's a Giants fan. So it was
This is a grumpy
ruined my
day
day.
for Joey.
Ruined my day.
If you want to cause the Wednesday meltdown, that can be you. You just have to join our Discord before
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Before tomorrow. All right. Pat, you got that one correct, which means you get to choose Joey's next category. Where you want to send our acquaintance Joey?
Oh, over to week 1 for Joey.
Week 1, all right,
200.
100 or 200? 200. According to Sleeper's projections, which of the following running backs is projected to score the most points in PPR leagues in week 1? Is it Alexander Madison, Jahmyr Gibbs, or Ramondre Stevenson?
This is tough. I love Jahmyr Gibbs, and I feel like Sleeper has come around to love him too, because I just still feel like Stevenson has competition. So does Gibbs. I'm not going to play with my heart. I'm going to play with my head. Stevenson.
Stevenson, final answer?
Yeah.
Should have played with something else, Joey. It was Jahmyr Gibbs, 14.7. Oh, no.
It's all right. It's all right.
All right, Simon.
I'm going to take grab bag for 400.
Grab back for
Try
400.
to tie it up with Pat here.
All right, here is your question. Which of these artists is famous for Cubism? Is it Claude Monet, Leonardo da Vinci, Pablo Picasso, or Vincent van Gogh?
I believe this is Pablo Picasso.
Final answer?
Yes.
Is he right, Joey?
I don't know.
Pablo Picasso is absolutely correct. Well done, Simon.
Wow.
His pictures just look cubey. I didn't know that for sure, but none of the other ones scream cubey when you look at their work. Picasso does.
That's kind of cubey. Did you know that one, Pat?
You know, that would have been my guess too. I can't say I knew that one. I knew it was not Monet, and I didn't think it was Da Vinci. So
I knew a girl named Monet. She wasn't very nice.
That's sad.
One of my best friends in kindergarten was named Monet. She was very nice.
Oh, definitely not the same Monet then.
Maybe.
And Dustin in the chat got Picasso. Well done. Well done. All right. Simon, you got those points, which means you get to choose Pat's next category.
Pat hasn't been to grab bag yet. I'm going to send him to grab bag.
Ooh, 1 or 3. 100 or 300, Pat?
I'll try the 300.
300. All right, here it is. This monstrosity, called the Craver, was the mascot for what cereal in the late 90s and early 2000s? Cookie Crisp, Corn Pops, or Honeycombs?
I got to go for Corn Pops.
Corn Pops, final answer?
Yes.
I'm sorry, it was Honeycomb.
Oh, my
Pat.
goodness.
Honeycomb.
But I suppose that makes sense. A bear. All right.
Joey, go
Wait,
ahead, Simon.
Pat, did you say that was a bear?
Was it a bear?
I don't think that. I mean, I don't even think the cocaine bear's eyes look like that. That's something different. I don't know.
I've definitely never seen a bear wearing bands.
It's like just
Oh
the
my God.
mane. It's like just the mane of a lion, but then they put a hedgehog's face on it.
Now I'm gonna have nightmares. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Like,
And he's
also-
wearing like, what are the pants that golfers wore in the 1920s?
Yeah, that's clearly
The knickers.
pants, not skin.
Knickers. He's wearing knickers. Yeah.
He's got
Wow.
4 fingers.
And his shoes are different colors.
And he's in the kitchen from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is odd. Okay.
He is there.
People in
Isn't
an
he?
ad,
It's the same kitchen, isn't it?
people in an ad agency work days to come up with that. Think about that.
And Carlos said, "Nah, man, that's cocaine Sonic." Yeah, that's cocaine Sonic after 3 years of
Lesser
being
known
cocaine
Sonic character.
Sonic. There's Amy, there's Tails, and then there's coked up Sonic.
Okay. Yeah, it was just they really swung out of left field now. All right, Joey, we're back. We're moving on to you. What question category would you like?
500. New season, who dis?
New season, who it is. A former first-round running back is looking for redemption on a new coast.
Okay, so I know Dalvin Cook went to the Jets, which is on the East Coast, but he went from the Midwest. So I'm thinking he goes coast to coast. Seattle to Philadelphia, Rashad Penny.
Final answer?
Yep.
Rashad Penny's absolutely correct. Joey
That
with
was awesome.
the late pull into first place. All right, you get to choose Simon's next category.
Grab bag.
Grab bag. All right, Simon, 100. Here it is. Which of the following college football teams has won a game this season? Tigers or Duke Blue Devils?
We love the self-referential burn. You know, if Clemson didn't miss the field goal, have the field goal blocked, fumble the ball inside the 5-yard line, fumble the ball inside the 10-yard line on first and goal, and throw an interception, I think they might have been the answer to this game. Unfortunately, they did every single one of those things while being unable to execute on a single open field tackle the entire game, besides being significantly more athletic than the entire Duke team. We're talking on like a magnitude of 5x more athletic. We have the 5th most talented roster in the nation, and Duke is in the 60s, and we lost by double digits. The Duke Blue Devils is the answer to this one.
Duke Blue Devils is absolutely correct.
I did not watch the game last night, so I would have missed that. I'm sorry that happened to you guys.
Yeah, we accept your apology. Simon, that is correct. It's going to give you an additional 100. And I think we can speed through one more round of this. What category do you want to send Pat?
Let's send Pat to a history of ADP.
All right, 100, Pat. Here it is. Which NFL player had the following ADP in PPR redraft leagues? Tight end one. Is it Sam Laporta or Travis Kelce?
Let's go with the guy with the hyperextended knee, Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce is absolutely correct. Well done. And you get to choose Joey's next category here. Where do you want to send Joey?
Oh, I'll let Joey work over that new season who dis category again.
Yeah.
All right, a quarterback who went from the Green Bay Packers to the New York Jets.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is absolutely correct, Joey. Well done. And you get to choose Simon's final category.
I mean, week 1.
Oh, boo.
Before you do that, before I answer this, I see Carlos down there saying, guys, at this point, if I didn't get a notice, I'm assuming I wasn't selected for the Listeners League. We just ran that randomizer right before the show here. The 13 names who are going to be joining us have been selected. And spoiler alert, you made it, Carlos. You're in there. But check your emails over the next couple hours for the link to join that league. They should be coming to you, and we're going to draft tomorrow.
Did I make it?
Joey, we'll talk after the show. Yeah, well,
it's like 4 years in a row, and you were in the company 4 years ago.
All right. My question is, who is projected to score more points in week 1? Patrick Mahomes or Baker Mayfield? Oh, I don't know. Now that Kelsey's going to be out. This is Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes
over under game of the week with like 54.5, I think was the over under before the Kelsey injury.
You are absolutely correct, Simon. It is Patrick Mahomes bringing the score as we go into Final Jeopardy. Joey with 1,800, Simon with 1,700.
This is
Pat
close.
1,600. Yeah, this isn't like last time, is it? Is it, guys?
No. Well, it could still turn up like that.
All right, this one is going to work a little differently than the previous. Well, this is going to work exactly like Final Jeopardy in the normal show. I'm going to give a category. You guys are going to write down your wagers, how much you are willing to wager out of your allotted amount down on the bottom of the screen. And then I'm going to present a question to you, and you're going to write down your answers. If you get it right, you will get however much you wager. And if you get it wrong, you will lose however much you wager. Whoever has the most points after this will win. That's how the game works. The category today is heights.
Okay, I got my wager written down.
Heights. Write down your wagers, contestants, and let me know when you're ready.
While I'm waiting for my competitors to get their wagers written down, a reminder to everybody watching, if you still got some drafts ahead of you, you're looking for that prep, or you just want a little bit of football-themed entertainment as we're heading into the season, you should check out our draft guide, the FYFD Classified Draft Guide at frontyardfantasy.com. It's $10.01. I know that penny breaks the bank for some of you, but that's what allowed us to remove all the pictures of Joey's feet.
It's a Rashad penny.
It's a Rashad penny.
He's in there. Not his
Yes.
feet, though.
All right, guys, you have your wagers?
I got mine.
Yeah, I think I did my math right.
All right, go ahead and reveal them. Let's see, 1649 from Simon, 900 from Pat,
Mine's 1601 on a picture of Pat and I.
1601 from Joey. Joey, Pat, and Simon. All right, your question today, Final Jeopardy question is, which wide receiver is the tallest? Which wide receiver is the tallest? Mike Williams, Equinemius St. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or Christian Watson?
Ooh, you got some tall boys in here.
Yeah. Joey said 1601. Oh, gosh, you guys made me do so much math today.
Mine is, if I miss it, it ends me with the same amount I ended with last time, 51.
Oh,
you're-
that's cute.
Oh, that is cute. So you're seven.
Mine-
You wagered six. How much did you wager? 1649.
49.
That's right. 51. Okay, 1741.
Mine is if I get it right, I win, just like last time.
That's not a number. All right. You have your guesses written down.
I
contestants.
do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and reveal.
D. Oh, we all said the same. Crap.
You all said C-Watt. You all said Christian Watson. All
Means
right.
if we're right, Joey wins. If we're wrong, Pat wins, and I can't do anything.
We got some guesses in the chat. We got some Watsons. We got an Equinemius St. Brown from Craig, a Watson from Ladarius, and not Amon-Ra St. Brown from Dustin. And they said Evans. Evans isn't even in there. It's not even an option. Let me pull this question back up. All three of you said Christian Watson was the tallest wide receiver out of this group.
If it's Mike, I'm going to kill you.
And you're all wrong. It was Equinemius St. Brown. He's 6'5". 6'5".
Damn.
Mike Williams and Christian Watson are both 6'4", and Amon-Ra 6 foot even. So, Pat, I think you're going to win this one.
Nice.
Wow.
With 700 points left to my 51, and Joey's, 199 or something like that, sitting there
Yeah,
with
some
him.
amount. Yeah.
Pat, you got your redemption. You came in for the dub. You took Joey and myself down. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and hang out with us today.
Thanks for having me, you guys. I always have fun with you. And, that's not a lot of money with the colossal, fail for all of us on Final Jeopardy, but I think it's enough to buy you guys around at George's next year in
Yes.
Ohio.
Let's
So,
go.
Great burgers. Like surprisingly great burgers.
Do they accept Cole's Cash?
No, I
I'm
checked.
sure.
Cole's Cash?
We'll have to call them ahead of time. The chat is excited about your win. Craig down here with the woohoo, and Dame with the congrats, Pat, sitting down here and a fun show. That is going to be it for us today, but we'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time for some more fantasy football game show fun. Another big thanks to our guest, Pat. If you're not already following him on Twitter, go and fix that right now at Fitz_FF and check out his work with Fantasy Pros and Betting Pros, where he's the managing editor. Pat, thank you so much. This was an absolute blast.
Thanks,
You bet,
guys.
Pat.
See you soon.
And we'll see everybody in the chat soon because we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, playing a different game. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night. 2 more sleeps until NFL. Adios.
Happy
everybody.
birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Woo!
He's
Almost
a fantasy
forgot.
pro now. Again.